The Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's busiest energy corridors, is once again at the center of global tensions. US President Donald Trump has announced that the United States will impose a 20% charge on commercial cargo passing through the strategic waterway as Washington steps up pressure on Iran. The move follows renewed military tensions in the Gulf and has already rattled global markets. For India, the implications could be significant. Nearly half of India's crude oil imports move through the Strait of Hormuz. Any additional shipping charge or disruption in traffic would increase transportation and insurance costs, making imported crude more expensive. That could eventually translate into higher petrol and diesel prices, depending on how long the situation persists and whether oil marketing companies pass on the increased costs to consumers. Analysts say the immediate impact may not be felt overnight, but if crude prices remain elevated for several weeks, inflationary pressures could begin to build across the economy. The ripple effects extend well beyond fuel. Higher diesel prices raise transportation costs, making it more expensive to move food, consumer goods and industrial products across the country. Airlines could also face higher aviation fuel bills, potentially affecting airfares. Manufacturers that rely on imported raw materials may see production costs rise, putting further pressure on prices. Financial markets have already reacted to the uncertainty. Indian benchmark indices declined as investors weighed the impact of rising crude prices and geopolitical tensions, while economists warned that sustained oil prices above current levels could complicate India's inflation outlook and widen the country's import bill. The Reserve Bank of India and the central government are expected to closely monitor developments. India maintains strategic petroleum reserves that can cushion short-term supply disruptions, but experts say a prolonged crisis in the Gulf would test the country's energy security and fiscal management. For now, much depends on whether the standoff in the Strait of Hormuz escalates further or diplomatic efforts help ease tensions. Until then, global oil markets and consumers in India remain on edge. As geopolitical tensions intensify in the Gulf, energy markets will remain highly sensitive to every new development. For India, the key question is whether this remains a short-lived disruption or evolves into a prolonged oil shock with consequences for inflation, fuel prices, and economic growth.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.